Hi guys, today we are talking salmon. I'm going to show you 4 preparation methods that will get a healthy and delicious salmon meal on the table for your family in around 30 minutes. And we're going to start right now. Hey guys and gals, Cindy with Supposably Chic, and I'm excited to share with you guys my salmon secrets. We have salmon in my house, gosh, I don't know, at least twice a week, and I like to mix it up. I get home from work at different times. I work full-time like a bunch of you guys do, I'm sure. And there's sometimes where I have enough time to bake and marinate. There's sometimes where it's just got to be quick because we've got things to do. So I'm going to cover all those with you today. We're going to talk 4 different preparation methods. The first one is going to be oven baked. The second one we're going to do on a grill, a barbecue grill. The third one is a steamer. And then the fourth one is a pan-seared salmon that you finish off in the oven. So we're going to start by cutting up the salmon. I'm going to start with the one that takes the longest first, which is the baked. And I'm going to share with you my super secret salmon marinade. So give me 1 second, I'm going to get the salmon cut up and ready to go. Okay guys, we're going to cut up our salmon and get started. There are a whole bunch of really great health benefits to salmon. Rich in omega-3s, great source of protein, high in vitamin B, and a whole bunch of other great reasons why you want to be serving it to your family. We get our salmon from Aldi. Aldi is sort of committed to no GMOs, no farm-raised salmon, so I know that I'm always getting the healthiest piece of fish for my family. So right now, I'm just going to kind of cut it up into 4 little pieces. Again, because we're going to do the 4 different methods. The one thing you want to be careful about salmon is that sometimes even the sharpest of knives, although it looks like I may have got them this time, have a hard time getting through. Wow, look at that. I got through all of them, guys. I was going to tell you sometimes I have to use my trusty dusty kitchen scissors. But we're going to set these aside right now because we're going to start with the marinade. My super secret salmon recipe has a whole lot of olive oil, some dried herbs, a dollop of garlic, and a dash of lemon juice. It's a nice, well-rounded marinade that adds to the salmon without too much citric acid that would actually sort of cook the salmon or cook any type of fish from the inside out. So here's my secret recipe, guys. We start with basil and oregano. We want to go a little bit heavier with the basil than we do with the oregano, so we're going to do a teaspoon of the basil and a half a teaspoon of the oregano. Three-quarters of a teaspoon of salt. Let me just clean off this spoon here real quick. And I like to use a half a teaspoon of pepper, but I like to use ground pepper, so I sort of guess when it comes to this point. We use a tablespoon of lemon juice. And I normally use 3 cloves of garlic, but I just use a teaspoon because for me, more garlic, better. And now I use 6 tablespoons of olive oil. And the recipe that I'm doing on this marinade will be down below. Also down below, guys, is a subscribe button. I'm hoping that you like what you see so far. And if you subscribe, you won't miss any of the great content we have coming up. So here's 4, 5, and 6. So you can see that took all about 3 minutes. And our marinade is now done and ready to go. I just sort of blend all the ingredients. I've already taken the liberty of adding foil to my pan. The other great thing about the baking method of the salmon is that there's no mess, you guys. You're going to actually fold this up and create like a steaming pocket. So when you're done, you just take it out of your pan and the pan is clean underneath. So we'll take one of our bigger pieces of fish. And what I like to do is sort of just spoon this marinade on top of the fish. And all the measurements of this marinade is actually going to have to do 2 slices of salmon, but I'm only going to do 1 piece right now because we have 3 other methods to talk about. So hopefully you can see with a close-up, I've sort of got the marinade just floating around the salmon. I like to leave it for about 30 minutes before I put it in the oven. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set it aside on the counter. I'm going to turn on the oven and we're going to start with method number 2. Okay, so we have the oven set for 375. We are waiting for it to preheat right now. It'll beep at us when it's ready. So in the meantime, we've got the baked salmon marinating in the super secret salmon marinade. And now we're going to prep the salmon for the steaming method. This is the base of my steamer. You'll see it has holes in it for the steam to come up through the salmon. So when I design the marinade slash medium that the salmon is going to sort of absorb, I need it to be a little bit lighter than that olive oil concoction, just because we want to allow the steam to be able to come up and completely cook the salmon. So I also like, when I steam it, to use a little bit of a teriyaki style sauce. One thing I found that I really love is the Trader Joe's soyaki. So all we're going to do right now is take another piece of the salmon, set it in another little pan. I'm going to salt it and pepper it just a little bit. And then I'm actually going to just pour the teriyaki sauce over the top. I don't necessarily have to immerse it completely because I just want it to absorb just enough of the teriyaki flavor. Okay, that should be good, and we're going to set that one aside. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how I prep the last two preparation styles, because they're exactly the same. Number 3 and number 4 is grilling and pan seared. And those basically get their flavor from the direct heat, either the direct heat of the grill or the direct heat on the skillet. So all we're going to do right now is we're going to rub them with a little bit of garlic, and then we're going to salt and pepper them. Okay, and to be honest, like I said, we like garlic. I literally just kind of rub it in with my fingers. The thing I like about the bottled minced garlic is it also has like kind of a juice in there, and that's what I normally use to sort of rub into the fish, more of the juice and less of the actual clove. So hopefully you can see I'm just going to pour a little on there and a little bit on there, and all I do is just kind of rub it into the fish just to give it that little bit of bite. And then again, we're going to add some salt and some pepper. And we're just going to set these guys aside until we're ready to cook them. I believe our oven is just about ready, so I'm going to show you how to fold the foil to create the steam pocket, and we'll get that sucker cooking in the oven. Okay, our oven is ready to go. So the next step is to create our steam pocket with our foil and pop it in the oven. So one word of caution, aluminum foil is sharp, so just be careful when you're doing this. That's my little public service message for the day. And get it as close as you can, guys. You kind of want to make it as sealed as you can, so that way the steam sort of stays in there. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just wrap it around a couple times. I like to sort of lay it flat so there's sort of airflow inside the salmon. Seal that side. Seal that side. Again, I sort of try and fluff it out just a little bit. Hopefully you can see that, so there is airflow inside of the foil. And now we're going to go ahead and pop this in the oven. I like my salmon pretty moist, so we're going to cook it at 35 minutes, but if you like your salmon a little more well done, you can cook it all the way up to 45 minutes. And again, the oven is at 375. Okay, now let me grab the steamer and we'll show you how that gets set up. I have a Hamilton Beach steamer that's actually a 2-tier, so you can put fish, chicken, etc., and vegetables, but I am only using 1 tier right now. I need to make sure we have enough water in here. Okay. And then on top of this goes the tray that we talked about a minute ago. And that just sits there on top. Now, like I said, we don't want to put a whole lot of oil on here because it's just going to drip down to that pan. As you can see, my fish has sort of been sitting in this teriyaki sauce for a while. It has a pretty good brine on it. Sometimes I'll pour just a little on top. Just a little. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and push the power button. It's already set to 20 minutes, which is how long we need for the steamer. So we're just gonna set this guy aside. It will beep at us when it's done. And now if you're ready, we're gonna go head out to my backyard to the grill, and I'm gonna show you how to grill up some lemon salmon. Welcome to winter in Southern California, guys. And here in California, we can grill 24/7, 365. One thing I didn't discuss and I did off camera was I sliced a bunch of lemons, and let me talk to you a little bit about why that is. When you cook on direct flame, it tends to be the most drying for meat, so especially for fish. So I have a method where I lay lemons down on the grill first, and then I lay the salmon on top of that. So as the heat comes up from the barbecue, it actually comes up through the lemon. So it kind of gives the salmon a little bit of a lemon citrus taste, and it doesn't overcook the bottom. The other thing of note here in the barbecue is that we're using, and forgive me, I'm not great with terms, but I believe it's called the indirect heat method, okay? So I have my burners on this side, and I have the burners off on this side. So when we close the top of the barbecue, we're still gonna get the heat that we need, but we're not gonna have that direct flame again to where it can affect the fish and actually overcook it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set the lemons out. And I just line them up side by side. Those of you who are really paying attention should be able to see that we actually have 2 slices of salmon out here. Well, that is because I had 1 piece of salmon left over, and so I figured the grill is the easiest way to cook it, so that's what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on the grill. So just, again, off camera, I just hit it with some garlic and some salt and pepper, just like we did the previous ones. Okay, so there is our lemon base. Now we're going to go ahead and take the salmon and set them right on top so they sort of rest on the lemon. Slide these guys over a little bit. This piece is a little bit bigger. And he's going to do the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to let the salmon set. Again, we have a flame on the right side, no flame on the left side. We're going to close the grill cover, let it grill for about 20 minutes, and we're going to come back to perfectly grilled, moist salmon. Okay guys, so salmon number 1 is baking. Salmon number 2 is steaming away over there, and salmon number 3 is outside on the grill. It is time for salmon number 4. This is pan-seared, finished in the oven. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a high flame, because we really want to sort of create a coating on the top layer of the fish. So we're going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. It is getting hot, you can hear it sizzling. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our tongs and we're going to put it skin side up, okay? And we're going to leave it here like this for 2 minutes. One of the things that I like to do while this is cooking is I take a little bit of the oil that's in the pan and I just sort of brush the skin side. Okay, just to make sure everything gets moist. And there's not a whole lot to do here except for wait for it to sort of get that coating on it. So let me just tell you what we're going to do when it's done, and then I will sort of walk you through it afterwards. What we're going to do is we're going to take it off with the flame. We're going to do our best, as long as the salmon is not stuck to the pan, to flip it over so that it is skin side down. And we're going to take this oven-proof skillet. Okay, that's important, guys. You have to make sure that your skillet can go from stove to oven. You don't want to melt any rubber or have any kind of crazy fiasco like that. We're going to take this entire pan and we're going to slide it into the oven, and we're going to leave it there, again, 10 to 12 minutes if you want a little more well done. We're going to shoot for 8 to 10 minutes, somewhere right in that sort of sweet spot. And again, it's going to give us a moist and sort of soft, easy, when you put the fork in it, it simply just flakes. That's what we're looking for. So we've got about another minute for this to be ready to go in the oven. And it is starting to get a little bit loose. That's a good sign. We're going to swirl our oil around just a little bit. Go ahead and hit the top skin again with some of this excess oil. And I think we're ready. I'm going to take off the flame. All right. Again, we're now going to flip it skin side down. And into the oven it goes. Okay, we have about 8 to 10 minutes to wait for this. The steamer is just about finished. So guys, give me just 1 second to get everything together and we're gonna come back and look at all 4 finished salmons. Are you guys hungry yet? Because trust me, all of this salmon cooking in my kitchen, I am starving. So here are our 4 salmons, okay? Couldn't do them all online, so bear with me. Number 1, oven cooked salmon in the super secret salmon marinade. Number 2 is our steamed salmon with the teriyaki marinade. Number 3 is the grilled salmon with the lemon base. And then finally is our pan-seared salmon. You notice I hit the steamed salmon with a little bit more of heated teriyaki sauce. The baked salmon, I just took a little bit of the marinade and sort of spooned it over as I plated it. The last 2, which again, if you remember, were just the salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic, they can actually be taken up a notch with whatever type of garnish or topping that you want. In fact, off camera, I made up a little mango avocado salsa that we can actually spoon on top of the pan-seared salmon and maybe even put alongside the grilled salmon if we wanted to. But so you guys can see here, there are 4 different ways of making salmon. Hope that you've enjoyed this. Down below are the recipes for all 4, and again, let's go through them. First one is oven baked. Second one is steamed with teriyaki. Third one is grilled with lemons. And 4th one is pan-seared with just garlic and olive oil. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. Please subscribe and like this episode so you guys are notified when more are coming. And I really would love to see your comments. What is your super secret salmon recipe? What's your go-to? And if you try any of these, please give me feedback. Like I said, I've served these in my family all the time, so I love them. But I really would like to know, if you tried them, what you found was the best method and what your family enjoys. So again, guys, this is Cindy at Supposably Chic, and make it a good one.